Hi and welcome to my video on how to use Zoom. This is a short video just covering off a few basics on how to use Zoom and how to access Zoom. Now, Zoom's a program, for those that don't know, which you can use for video meetings, video conferences. Lots of different companies use it, as well as churches, and what we're going to be looking to use it at the Deepings Methodist Church is for our prayer meeting, our new prayer meeting that I'm going to be hosting. The way to access Zoom will be via a link that you will be sent. I'm going to be sending that link to you through the newsletter, weekly newsletter that comes out that Andy Gregson sends out for us. When you get that email, it's going to have something similar to what you can see in front of you. So this is an email that I've sent to myself, and it's the invite for a scheduled Zoom meeting. So what you'll see on this email is you've got the topic. So in this case, I've set it as Chris's Zoom training meeting. You've got the time of the meeting, and then underneath that you've got join Zoom meeting with a link. You will then also see that there's a meeting ID, and then in some cases there will also be a meeting password. Now, the meeting password is dependent on how the host has actually set it up, whoever's organising the meeting. What I tend to do when I set up mine is I tend to do it without a password. That way it makes it easier for other people to access the meeting. However, what you will find is that when you enter the meeting, you will go into what's called a holding room. That holding room then will indicate to the host, so the person organising it, that you are waiting to get in, and then the host then has the access to be able to say yes or no to whether you can go in. It's just a little bit of extra security that there is to stop anybody that it's perhaps an unwanted visitor from getting into your meeting. So quite simply, when you are ready to actually join the meeting, you just click the link. So we'll do that now. So you'll see that it then connects to the website, and from the website it then connects to the Zoom application. Now, if you've already got the application installed onto your computer, then it will look like it does for myself now and what you can see. If you haven't already got it, then when it connects to the website, it will ask you whether you want to download it or whether you want to access it through their website. Now, the Zoom application and the Zoom website, it's all free. You don't have to pay, and you can sign up for free. There are elements that you can pay for, but for what most people need, you don't need to pay. If you want to download the application, I would recommend it, because by doing that, it does give you some more flexibility in what you can do, rather than what you can do using the website. But that is completely up to you, and you can still use it perfectly adequately on the website. So as you'll see now on my screen, the Zoom meeting has loaded, and we've got an option here for join audio. So you'll see here that it says join with computer audio. So that's the button that you want to click. So when you do that, that will then give permission for your computer to use your microphone, and for your speakers, and for your video camera as well. And by doing that, you'll be able to hear everybody else, and they'll be able to hear you. Now, in some cases, you may see other options, which will be to access audio via a telephone. So generally, that's not required. You only use that mainly for businesses if you're going to connect with a mobile phone to actually hear the audio of the meeting. So for our purposes, you then click join with computer audio, and then you'll see that it says you are using the computer audio, and you're in the meeting, and everybody can see you and hear you. So what I'm just going to do is just maximise the screen so you can see the whole of the Zoom video. Now, what you may find when you join is on occasion, you may find that your video's not on, or you may be muted, so nobody can hear you. So to find out whether that is the case or not, when you move your cursor, you will see in the bottom left here, there is a mute symbol and a stop video. So if you're muted, then it will have a red line through. And by muting yourself, which you can either do yourself or someone else can do, then that will stop anybody else from hearing you. So it can be quite useful. And to unmute yourself, you just click unmute. The red line will go, so everybody will then be able to hear you. And it's very similar for the stop video. So if you want to stop your video, you click the button, you'll see that the video has stopped and you've got a red line through it. And to start your video, you click the button and your camera will restart. So as you can see me there. There are a few other options in terms of the audio and the video. So you will see here that there are two little arrows. This gives you some extra menus. So with the audio setting, if you click the little arrows, you get these options here. So you've got options for your microphone and for your speaker. Now for most people, you won't need to worry about this at all because you only have one microphone, one speaker and one camera. For myself, I'm actually using a couple of different monitors, a couple of different screens and different microphones at the moment. So I've got different options. So you'll see here I've got two microphones and two sets of speakers. And then if I do the same on the video, you'll see here I've then got two sets of cameras as well. So if I was to just use the other camera for a moment, it'll flick and there you go, you can see that there's the other camera and I can just switch back quite easily. So you'll need to work out obviously what your setting is and what's appropriate for yourself, but on the whole you won't need to touch that other than to mute yourself and stop the video if you need. Along the bottom you've also got some other options here. So you've got a security button. Now on the whole you won't see this option because this security option is mainly for the host or whoever is organising the meeting. The second button here is participants. So on here, on the little menu bit here, you can invite other people into the meeting or you can click it, in which case on the right hand side you will see a list of participants. This will show who's in there and it will also show you whether they are muted or whether the camera's on. So if I mute myself, you'll see in the top right there my microphone is now muted, and then if I unmute myself, then again you'll see that it's unmuted, so you can see that. If you don't want the list of participants up, just click it again and it will get rid of it. You've then got a chat function. So by clicking on the chat function, you get this menu here. Now this is quite handy. So when there's a lot of people involved in a particular meeting, what you might find is that you'll get some feedback from the microphones and the speakers, and it doesn't sound very good. So what you may end up having to do is that everybody apart from the main person that's talking will be asked to go on mute so that it stops that. If that is the case and you still want to chat to the people, then this chat function becomes extremely helpful. And what you can do in here is you can just type away and talk to people whilst the person, there you go, so type away whilst the person is still talking and leading the meeting. So it might be, for instance, that if we're doing some prayers, you can then put your prayer requests in that chat function and everybody will be able to see it. You are also at the bottom here able to choose who it gets sent to. So if you wanted to send a message to one particular person, then their names would appear on this list and you can select them and then send a message to that one particular person as well. You're also able to add and attach files here, but I'm not going to go into that in detail at the moment. And again, to get rid of the chat function, you just come back to the middle bottom here, click chat, and it disappears. There are a few other options here that I'm not going to go into huge detail. There's a share screen option. That really is mainly for people that are running the meetings, so it enables us to share our screens. So for instance, when we do our prayer things, I might decide to share my screen and play a video, worship video, and that way everybody will be able to see it and hear it at the same time. The final options here is a record button, so you can actually record all the meetings that you have if you wanted, and also a reactions button. Now the reactions button is quite funny because when you click on it, you've got various bits here. So if you were on mute and somebody was talking, you'd be able to give them a thumbs up if you agree. So if I click on that, you'll see in the top left here a big thumbs up, and then that will stay there for a little while, and then after a while it will disappear. So there you go, it's disappeared already. Now, as you can see at the moment, the screen shows just my image. That's because I'm the only person in this meeting at the moment. When you've got other people in the meeting, you will get a menu at the top right here where my cursor is. And this will give you a couple of different options on how to view kind of everybody else and what you see. So one of the options is what's called a speaker view. The way that works is that whoever is speaking at the time will fill your screen like I am at the moment, and you will see them, and then if somebody else starts talking, then it will automatically switch to that person. The advantages of that view is that you are able to see those people that are talking much easier and much clearer. However, the disadvantage for that is that you can't see everybody else very easily. The alternative view is to have what's called a gallery view or grid view. That way, everybody that's in the meeting will be on a grid on your screen. And let's say that there's 10 people, you'll see 10 little boxes on your screen and you'll be able to see everybody. And with those boxes you can drag them and put them where you want on the screen as well, so that they're locked in place and don't keep moving. That is slightly different, however, though, if you are using a tablet or an iPhone. So to view the different ways on a tablet and iPhone, you actually need to swipe on the screen. Now what you'll find is when you go in, you'll probably see a large picture of yourself on your tablet or phone, and you'll just swipe across the screen and then you'll see what's called the speaker view. So you'll see whoever's talking at the time, and then if you swipe across again, then you'll see what's called the gallery view. However, the difference being on a tablet and a phone is that you only see 4 people on the screen at any one time. So if you've got 5 or 6 people, then you would need to swipe again to see the other people. The main reason for that is purely because of the size of them and the detail. To have everybody on there at one time, the images would be so small you wouldn't be able to see people properly. So that's the way that Zoom has designed that application. I hope that's been useful for you. If you've got any questions for me, then please feel free to kind of email me, give me a call, message me, and I'll be happy to help. Really look forward to seeing some of you at our prayer kind of gathering that I'm going to start on a Tuesday evening at 7:30 p.m. And the links, as I said, will be sent round, so hopefully this will enable you to access the prayer time and the prayer meeting with some success. I just thank you for joining me and spending this time with me. I'll just finish with showing you the end button. So when you move your cursor, you get the menu come back up, and on the far right here you've got the end button. So you will have leave meeting. Anybody hosting a meeting has end meeting for all, so you can close the whole thing. So I'm going to close it now. As you'll see, that's all gone off. X on there, and you're back to where we started, which is the email. So again, thank you very much for listening. Hope this has been useful, and look forward to seeing you soon.